here, of course, because I just did this and didn't even wait for anyone to join. But okay, this should be recording by now. It always takes a second or two before it starts, but yeah, it should be going. So what's been going on with me lately? I don't know. I'm just like busy. Hey, TDH, how's it going, man? So yeah, I didn't think of anything to talk about this evening. I just got home, had a shower, came inside, and turned this on. And yeah, I didn't have any time to think of anything to say at all, actually. So I guess I'm just gonna talk about. Hello, Mr. Landfill. How's it going, man? Yeah, I don't have anything to talk about. I don't have anything prepped to talk about at all. I didn't even think of a topic. Is there anything you guys think I should talk about? Because I always have lots of crap I could say about anything. But yeah, I didn't really prepare anything. Well, maybe I should talk about why I'm just so busy all the time. Oh, track and field discipline. Oh, that's not very good discipline right there. You spelled discipline wrong. Oh, track and field discipline, eh? Well, okay, I can talk about track and field. So track and field is one of those things, I've mentioned it from time to time about lessons I've gotten from track and field. When I did track and field, I learned a lot about life and about how to do things and get things done, how to deal with obstacles, and yeah, just how to live, I really learned a lot from track and field. And one of my favorite things about track and field is that you get unbiased feedback. So when you run a race, you get a time, and there's no negotiating that time. You can't go to the judges and say, "Hey, could you knock a half a second?" No, your time is your time. And it's like, yeah, it just cuts out all the BS, you get a time and it's computerized and accurate to like the hundredth or the thousandth of a second. And if you did better than last week or worse or whatever, like you know if you're doing better or worse. So that way you can take that super honest and plain objective feedback and look at what you've been doing and see how it's affecting your performance. And every week you get a new bit of objective feedback. I found that to be incredibly useful in figuring out how I work, like how I physically and mentally work just as a human being. Spiritually too, just how this whole thing works. And yeah, let me talk about one story I've mentioned before. Actually, in my movie I mentioned this real briefly, but I didn't really tell the story accurately or in any detail. I just kind of skimmed over it really quick. So I started track and field my second year of high school. My first year, we didn't have we sort of had a track team, kind of. We actually just trained at one of the neighboring schools, which was like 5 miles away or something. Anyway, so we didn't have like a track and field team at my high school until I was in grade 10, my second year of high school. And I'd always done a lot of sports, and I always wanted to do track and field because I like to run and I was always fast, and I was like, I think I can do that. So I joined the track team, and I had this coach. He is the best coach I've ever had in any sport. I called him Coach Russ. Russ was his first name because pretty soon after I started training with him, I just felt like I need to be like really familiar with this guy. We are like best friends. So I just started calling him by his first name, and he was fine with it. He was a really good guy. Everyone else called him Coach McLeod, but yeah, I called him Coach Russ. And before I started calling him Coach Russ, I had to earn. He just earned a lot of respect from me and from all the guys on the team just by being amazing. And when he was younger, he ran track and field, and he was really good. So he didn't have anything to prove as a coach, in terms of being an athlete. And I've trained with coaches who were not good athletes, and they often have a huge chip on their shoulder, like they need to prove something to the athletes who are better than them, But my coach, when he was an athlete, he was really, really good. So he didn't have any of that ego problem. But anyway, toward the beginning of our training, the first year, it was like me and like 4 other guys. I think it was like 5 of us total, something like that. We were training together, and we were, our coach would give us these workouts, and we were running in the hallways of our school. Our school had like a 240 meter long, almost straightaway. There was a little bit of a curve in the middle, but it was basically a 240 meter straightaway. So we could run 200s or 400s there and back, or 600s there, back there, whatever. So we ran in the hallways a lot. And he would give us these workouts. Man, they were hard, like really, really hard, brutal. But those brutal workouts, man, they really set the foundation of just fitness. Oh man, it was like all this physical stuff I do now that's like, a lot of people say like, Jaimie, how can you do that? How can you keep going on this stuff? It all comes back to that first year of track and field training, where it was just grueling and set a foundation of endurance and it was just gritty, hard. And at the beginning, I and my comrades, we started cheating. So like if we were running, the one workout I remember that was like the most brutal one was 8 times 400 meters. And they'd either have a minute or 2 minutes rest between, and it was not enough rest to do the times he was asking us to do. Oh man, it was so brutal. So what we would do is we'd start, at 40 meters into the hallway, run all the way down to the end, turn around and come back. That was a 400. Except we had all kind of pretty quickly just started cutting corners at the end, not quite going all the way to the end. And then eventually we just picked a spot. There was a fire extinguisher on the side of the wall, almost at the end of the hallway of the school. And we always just turned around there. And I don't know how long this went on, like a months. I don't remember, but it just became the normal thing. Like coach would tell us this workout, we'd be like, well, that's impossible, but we can do it if we turn around at the fire extinguisher, which was maybe 10 or 15 meters short of the end. And then one day I said to the other guys, I think we should start going all the way to the end. I think we can do it. Like it's going to be brutal and hard, but if we do it, we'll get stronger. And those guys were just like, oh, come on, we can barely do this as it is. Shut up, Jaimie. So I let it go that day. But the next workout, I was like, all right, I'm just doing it. I'm not saying anything to anyone. I'm just doing it. Because I know if I say something, they're going to be like, no, Jaimie, you're crazy. Don't do it and forget it. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to do it. So the workout started and I took off like faster than everyone else because I know I have to get all the way to the end. And, my friends, my teammates like, what are you doing, Jaimie? What are you doing? Are you going crazy or something? You're going to be way ahead of the time. No, we're on pace. And I just took off on them. And I went all the way to the end of the hall. And they're like, Jaimie, don't do it. You're never going to make it, And, I turned around and I see all their butts turning around at the fire extinguisher. And they take off and I haul ass and I catch up to them just as we cross the line. And I was sucking wind. Man, I was so tired. And we were doing 8 of these. And on the second one, I did the same thing. But this one, I was like, man, by the time I was done the second one, I was like, I feel like I've done the entire workout already. But I've decided I'm doing this. I'm going to keep going, whatever I have to do. And I decided that everyone from now on, I'm gonna finish first. I'm gonna finish ahead of everyone until I get to the point where I simply cannot do it anymore. And for the rest of the workout that day, I went down and I turned around at the spot and I looked at their butts and I have to catch back up to them. And on the third one, that was the one where I almost didn't do it, where I turned around and I was so out of gas. And I looked at them ahead of me and I was just like, I can't. And I was like, no, I just got to go for it. And if I fall flat on my face, I fall flat on my face. It's do or die, go. So I caught up to them and passed them. And for the next five more reps of these 400s, I went ahead of everyone and finished ahead of everyone. And I don't really remember. It was just this fog, this hazy fog of like, I remember turning around at the end and I remember finishing at the ahead of everyone. And then just trying to catch my breath like crazy and trying not to let my coach notice how incredibly worse off I was this day than any other day. Because I didn't want him to adjust our workouts, once I was doing the full thing. But after that day, from then on, I always did the full workouts. And just going through that experience of having the option to cheat and deciding not to, and then going through the pain of doing the whole thing, even though I had a chance to cheat, it really solidified in my head that I'm not cheating anymore. And from then on, like anytime I came up to a situation where I could cut corners to make it easier for myself, or, I would just not. Often, if there was an option to cut a corner, I would actually go further. I would go like a longer distance just to say, no, I'm not cutting the corners. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to make this harder. I'm going to do more than you think I can do, not cheat on what. And a lot of this came from a lot of this idea. I mean, it was something that was definitely in me, of course, but a lot of it came from my coach, my track and field coach, who never checked that we were cheating. He just told us the workouts and expected us to do them. And he didn't worry about whether or not we did them because it was for us. It wasn't for him. He wasn't getting the fitness out of this. He was just like, I'm the coach. I set the things. Here's what you do. And you're the athlete. It's your responsibility to do it. And just giving me that responsibility. At first I started feeling guilty that I was cheating, but then it really just got into my head that I am responsible for myself and my life and my health, and I'm responsible for winning or losing these races, which was not an important thing, but it's an important thing as a life lesson, And I don't even remember how long this took, but eventually all of the guys started running all the way to the end of the hall, and then we had several years of always. Like never cheating, of always making it to the end. And my track and field team in high school was small, but man, we kicked butt. We were really, really good. We'd show up to track meets. We always looked like a bunch of hobos. Like you can see my shirt right here. This is about how we dressed. Like we just looked like a bunch of homeless people. And at first, it wasn't that bad, but then we started doing it kind of more on purpose. And then it got really bad. Like we just show up looking like we just got like run over by a train or something, just like all ripped clothes and stuff. And I think partly we just thought it was funny that we showed up looking like the Little Rascals or something, just ridiculous and crappy. And then we beat everyone, like all these people in their nice fancy uniforms and stuff. So we ended up kind of having fun with that. Eventually we got uniforms though, but anyway. So track and field definitely taught me a ton about discipline and just learning how to put effort into something over time and achieve a goal that you're nowhere near. Because at the beginning of a year of training for track and field, you're nowhere near where I would be nowhere near the fitness I needed to be to win at the end of the year. So it was just like every day, putting in the work, doing the thing, pushing hard, and then eventually achieve this goal. And that's something I use all the time in my life. Even when watching these videos, any of the videos that are like, mega project, blah, 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 episode 1, and it goes up to like episode. I think some of the projects I've had have gotten over 100 episodes. But the reason I can do that and stick to that kind of project all stems back to this learned ability to focus on something and stick to it and work hard on it and make progress and work toward a goal. And a lot of that came from track and field. Another really good sport was swimming, actually. But swimming was also really good because you get a set time, an objective feedback, the time. But I didn't have like some amazing coach for that or anything. I don't even remember my coaches. I'm sure I had some good coaches, but I don't remember like my track and field coach. He was awesome. Anyway, all right. Oh no, my comments are stuck. Let me just see. Unless there's no more comments. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch. Okay. Will be a great show then. Wing it. Oh, you're saying because I came totally unprepared. Yeah. Should be a great show because I came totally unprepared. I don't know. I've been coming pretty unprepared a lot lately just because, like, it's not a bad thing. It's just because, like, I'm just going and working and getting so much done that, I don't have time to, it's not even just time. I don't have time or the mental energy to like ponder stuff, like when you're just working hard, nose to the grindstone, time to ponder all this philosophical stuff. It's just like, I gotta get this done. I gotta get this done. And it's good, it's going, things are going really well. Like I've set goals for myself and I'm just like, working hard on them and I'm making really good progress. And, I was thinking a while ago, it's going to be like 2 or 3 years before I get to the point where I really feel like I can take a breath and smell the roses. And I think I might be able to get it closer to 2 at the rate I've been going. So I don't know, for the next 2 or 3 years, I'll probably just be going really hard, like a lot of the time. And like a lot of it just focusing on my energy level and just being able to keep going. And every evening I got to stretch. I've been doing a lot more stretching lately because I was starting to feel a little bit tight, like sore back and stuff like that, and neck and headache, but I've been stretching a lot more the last couple weeks. And it helps a lot. And everything's going really well. I shouldn't say everything, but things in general are going pretty well. Thumbs up, everyone. Sweet PVC bow and arrow. Yeah. How many turkeys have you hunted so far? Man, there's no turkeys here. There are some birds though. There were turkeys in Vermont, where I used to live off grid. And they're the funniest animal because the first time I noticed them, I didn't even know they really did this, but I was inside my house and outside I hear this. And I'm like, is some crazy person outside? Then I hear like a whole bunch of, it's like there's like a dozen people outside just going. And so I go outside and sure enough, there's this horde of turkeys. I don't know what you call a pile of turkeys. I'm just going to call them a horde. It was like this horde of turkeys. It was winter and they were so easy to spot against the white. And they were just like running along. Man, I would just think, man, those things look delicious. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that PVC bow. It's just a piece of 1-inch Schedule 40 pipe, maybe almost as tall as me, a little bit shorter. I'm like 6'1", so it's maybe like 5'8" or something. And then I just used a piece of, what's that? Paracord for the string, and that's it. And it works pretty well. Wrestling practice in high school was hardcore like that too. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of it has to do with the coach. Because like in any sport, you can have the coach who doesn't really push you or doesn't really, come up with the workouts or isn't really into it or doesn't understand. But when you get into a sport with that coach who like knows their shit and like gives you the workouts to do and just like expects you to do them. And it's just like, man, when that works, man, it is a really cool experience. Very cool experience. So you probably had a really good wrestling coach and a really good like relationship there and a good vibe and everything, Would you say cardio? Okay. Cardio. You need to do more cardio. No, don't do so much cardio because it interrupts your masses. If you want the big masses, don't do so much cardio. I don't know. Why do I need to say cardio? And fitness. Oh, this is a question. He accidentally pushed enter. Okay, so it's not just would you say cardio. Would you say cardio and fitness are the best developers of grit and perseverance? No, I mean, you could get grit and perseverance from a lot of things, but I think cardio and fitness, like just fitness stuff in general, is definitely a good way to do it because then you also get really strong. But you can develop crazy grit doing a lot of different things, like a lot of different physical things, like digging. I don't know. Would you call digging cardio and fitness? That's how I that's how I maintain a lot of my gritty what was it called? My gritty determination. I do a lot of digging and just carrying things around. But yeah, you can also, computer coding. That'll develop some grit. Although then you don't get the really good physical effect. So I don't know what the best thing is, but yeah, fitness is definitely a really good way to develop your grit and perseverance, because then you also get all this, like the physical strength and the mental strength. All right, Mr. Landfill says, we had to practice wrestling in the mezzanine of our school. Coach made us, coach, I should say coach, right? Coach made us run stairs, no skipping a step either. Oh, when I ran stairs, I was like, skip as many as I can until I can't do it anymore. Then it's only doubles. But that's because it was a power and speed event. So no skipping stairs? Like you had to touch every stair like quick feet? Anyway, that self-discipline helped you learn self-trust, eh? No, did I learn self-trust? That's a whole different topic, self-trust. Where I learned self-trust is seeing the results of what other people told me to do. Because so when I was a kid, I was like everyone else. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Even if I pretended I know what's going on, I'd be like, I don't know, I'm dumb. I'm just a little kid. But then other people would tell me to do things, and often I would be like, well, that doesn't make as much sense as what I think would make more sense. But I don't trust myself. I got to listen to what I'm told to do, so I'll do that. And then I would get some results, and I'd be like, wait a minute, this isn't as good as the thing I was thinking to do. That would have been much better, or at least better. And a lot of it, I lost trust in other people. And part of it was when I was a kid growing up, I had a lot of bad influences. Like a lot of people who were very pompous and arrogant. I know someone's going to get upset about this, but it's kind of a Canadian thing. I mean, it's not just a Canadian thing, but there is definitely a strong culture of know-it-all in Canada, and I grew up with a lot of really arrogant people who were like, I know everything. I know what you should be doing, and I know all this stuff. And pretty quickly I realized, wait, these people don't know everything. So I'm going to start listening to myself. And it wasn't even so much that I trusted myself. It's just that I realized no other people in the world have any more idea of what's going on than I do. So there's no reason I can't come up with ideas of what to do that are just as good as anyone else's. And then I realized, if I come up with my own ideas and I start testing my own ideas, I can actually become much better at figuring things out. And I guess that's where I started gaining more trust in myself. Like at first I just had to start acting upon my own ideas, even though I didn't trust them. I was just like, they're not going to be any worse than anyone else's. But then as I started succeeding, or even screwing up and learning and then fixing, and then started to succeed, I started really trusting my own ideas. And at this point, I trust my own judgment more than anyone else's. Like, I can't think of a single person on the planet whose judgment I trust more than mine. Actually largely because if I don't know something, I don't pretend I do. Someone's probably going to be like, well, in this 45-minute monologue you gave one time, you said something. And it's like, come on, man. In a 45-minute monologue, I'm not going to stop and correct every little mistake of words I do. And I only one take all of these videos. So I'm sure I've made mistakes and said wrong things at points in time. But generally speaking, I don't pretend to know how to do things that I don't know how to do. And if I think I know how to do something and then some other information comes along, I'm like, whoa. I gotta fix this because I'm making a mistake and here's better information. So, and a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people will stick to their guns and be like, I know what to do, and I know what to do, and I know what to do, and that's it. There's no negotiating. And then even if they have really good information and some really good ideas and stuff, they quickly get left behind by a person who can accept their own limitation of knowledge, you know? And accepting your own limitation of knowledge is one of the best ways of getting smarter and being able to understand more. This is, you know, an adventure builder philosophy. Humility is a big virtue. Well, it's one of the 8 virtues, right? And that's humility, knowing that you could always be wrong, and being able to see your own mistakes and accept that, you know, I've made a mistake. I'm fallible. I'm probably going to make a million more mistakes. And once you can do that, and you can look at your own mistakes comfortably, you know, without freaking out or anything, then you can actually improve them. And then you can learn more and gain more understanding of things and do better and make fewer mistakes. But you always got to keep that humility in your heart, so that you never get to a point where you're like, oh, I've learned so much, I'm infallible now. No, you're always fallible. And that's one of the big things I've learned in life, is that no matter how much I learn, there's still so much I don't know or understand or can't do. If anything, the more I learn, the more I realize how limited I am, you know? Like, and that comes down to the you know, what the Dunning-Kruger effect is, where people who have very limited experience with something often think they're amazing at it. For instance, take archery, because I was shooting arrows recently. Say someone picks up a bow and arrow and it's like, oh, what do I do? And they fire an arrow. It's like, haha, success. I can shoot. I'm great at this. Except they don't realize how much they suck, because their idea of being able to do it is so simple and plain. But then you put them in an archery contest with like people who are like experts, and then they become aware that, oh wow, I am not good at this. Even though when they had no clue of how good you could be, they thought they were amazing. And when you're amazing at the stuff too, you still got to keep that humility. Know that you can always improve, you know. Well, what was I even talking about there? I don't know. Oh yeah, fitness and. All right. That self-discipline helped you learn self-trust, eh? Right. Better understand your limits and trusted your ability to reach your goals. I think all pain helps that way. Well, I don't know about all pain. You know that there's some pain that's just, you could just definitely do without, like betrayal from people. I mean, I guess betrayal from people can be valuable, because then you put up your guard and you're ready for the next time someone betrays you. But man, I could definitely do without like betrayal from people who are supposed to be not betraying, like trusted people. Man, that pain sucks. I could totally do without that for life. That would be great. But yeah, all that pain from like working hard and stuff like that stuff's all great. It just helps you grow. Yo, have been able to send you the tree things, sadly. Wait, haven't been able to send you the tree things, sadly. What were the tree things? I don't remember what the tree things were. Oh, crap. See, now this comes back to how hard I've been working on everything. I don't know what's going on in the world most of the time. I'm just like, okay, keep digging. Okay, now go wire this together. Okay, now build this. Okay, now do that. Okay, gotta remember to eat. Go eat some food. Eat some food. Okay, gotta stretch so I can actually get up in the morning and move without my back like creaking. And, you know, it's I keep forgetting about like everything else, but it's just because there's so much going on, you know. Every stair, Mr. Landfill had to run every stair for quick feet. I get what you're saying. Andrew says, coding is definitely a different kind of mental stamina when you're first learning it. Yeah, it is definitely some mental stamina. Yeah, it's too bad it doesn't come with physical stamina too, because then you could actually get in good shape while you're coding. Although, you know, when I've been doing a lot of coding, like if I'm making a video game or something like that, or making a website, or I should fix my website. I still don't have time though. Anyway, when I'm doing something like that, I'll often stop and do push-ups between, like every every time I finish a section or something, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to go do a set of push-ups and then just come back. And then I do some more. And then I'd be like, okay, now I'm going to run around the house really fast and then come back. I would always keep some kind of physical activity going. Otherwise, man, just sitting there coding, it's agonizingly boring. And yeah. Or Mr. Landfill. This is about the wrestling. We had to start over, but the guy that skipped got to rest. Then we trained him ourselves. So whoever skipped the steps got special punishment. I know that loss of trust in others feeling. Oh God, I hate that. I hate that it's so hard to trust people. But we're in a society right now where it is totally normal to lie and not follow through with what you said, and like it's just so frustrating when you're one of those people who decides that you are going to put this light on, blind myself for a second. It's really, really frustrating when you are one of those people who decides, I'm not going to lie anymore. I'm not going to cut the corners. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to say what I really think, and I'm going to follow through with whatever I say. And this is, that's adventure builder, man. That's adventure builder when you're doing that. And being in a society where people just don't do that, it's really frustrating. Especially when it's like people you care about and people you really feel like you should be able to trust. And you can't trust them. God, it's so frustrating. Like when you can't trust your own family kind of thing, or your friends. And it's like, well, that's not really my friends or family. That's just some people I can't rely on. I don't know. I dream of a day when I can have like someone. I have a really good friend right now who I trust, which is awesome. I'm really happy about that. This guy who moved here, I've mentioned him a few times. I don't know, he moved here like a year ago now? I don't know, it's got to be getting close to a year. But he's super cool. I can trust him. I do dream of the day when I can have a domestic partner, like a woman that I can trust. That would be amazing. Oh my God, that would be so cool. I'm sure someone out there right now is thinking, well, I can trust my wife with pretty much anything. Man, I am jealous. That is awesome. That's super cool. Don't take it for granted, man, because a lot of people just cannot be trusted. Hi, Jaimie. Greetings from Tampa, Florida. Well, hello, Tampa, Florida. I've been in Tampa a lot, actually. I had family. Well, I still have family living there. So I used to visit Tampa a lot. But, ever since I left North America and moved to Central America, I haven't gone back to the States. But I used to ride my bike a lot in Tampa to the beach. There was this little beach, like right beside one of the main roads. Then it wasn't a beach that anyone went to, except for me. I would just drive my bike up there, and it wasn't manicured or anything. There was like all this driftwood in there, but it was a really nice beach. Let's see. You just have to maintain a sense of integrity and rock it your way. Yeah, when you have your own integrity, it's not just something that benefits other people. Like it really benefits your own life. Like if I look at the things in my life that are really good, it's like they're all there because of my own integrity. And if I look at things in my life that kind of suck, a lot of them are things that happen because I didn't quite do it. I didn't live up to what I needed to. I didn't have enough integrity or strength or whatever. Yeah, integrity is good. Learn by making mistakes. Yes, the more I learn, the less I know. I love that song. I'm not going to try to sing it right now. I can't remember enough. Except now it's in my head. The more I learn, the less I know. If you want, it was from site Deep Green Permaculture, article Backyard Orchard Culture, a new approach to growing fruit trees in limited spaces. Oh, okay, this is the thing about the trees. Right. Do you know Longboat Key near Tampa? I used to stay down there in town back in the 90s. I don't know Longboat Key, but there's a good, I drove through the Keys. I never made it all the way to Key West, but I spent some time in the Keys. Beautiful spot. What was the last car I owned? The last car I owned was the last one. It was in my old Vermont videos. It was a Toyota pickup truck. One of the old Toyotas, before they had names. Eventually they were like T100s and Tundras and Tacomas and stuff. But originally it was just a pickup truck. Like, it was just a Toyota pickup truck. It was just a little pickup truck, two seats. You could squeeze 3 adults in the front if you slammed the doors and just squished everyone in, and the middle person would have to watch out for the stick shifter and stuff. But yeah, it was basically like a 2-seater little pickup truck. Had a 6-foot bed, I think. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I could lay down in the bed. I would sometimes go on road trips in my pickup truck, and I had a cover for the back, and I would put the cover on, and then put a mattress in the back, and then I could drive and take a nap whenever, some rest stop or stuff. Just sleeping in the back of the truck, which was so nice. Oh, I just found some ants. I'm like, what are these ants doing? Where are they coming from? Oh, I gotta find where they're getting in. All right. That happens when you live in the wilderness. Yeah, that was the last car I owned. My driver's license expired years ago at this point. Was it Gandhi where you rode your bike to the beach? I did go to Gandhi Beach. Was it Gandhi Beach? I don't know. I remember Gandhi. The reason I remember Gandhi is because I had a girlfriend in Tampa at one point, and I met her. I didn't meet her at Gandhi Beach, but we would meet at Gandhi Beach, and she lived near Gandhi Beach, and I liked her a lot, except there were some trust issues. That's like the story of like most of the women I dated in the past who I really liked. It usually breaking up with them came down to some sort of trust issue, like just not being able to rely on them and not being able to take their word for, just don't lie to me and everything can be good. But I do remember, yeah, I didn't usually ride my bike to Gandhi though. It was just, I don't know, maybe it was, I don't remember. I'd have to look at a map. I could find my route on a map and figure out where it was. But this was all, over a decade ago. It was a pretty long time ago, 15, 20 years ago. So what are you guys doing? What's going on in your life? I'm at the end of comments here. So I've run out of important things to talk about. Yeah, probably if I was devoting more time and effort to the videos instead of just getting things done, I would do these with a list of stuff I could talk about, but I totally don't have that. I pretty much always just wing it. Bro, there's got to be some sweet Panamanian girls down there to chat to. Maybe, I haven't met them yet. When I go to town, sometimes I talk with a girl, but nothing promising yet. I mean, it's like anywhere I've lived. I need someone who's not a conformist, and almost everyone is a conformist, almost by definition. Most people are conformist. They're conforming to the norm, and I don't. So I definitely need someone who does not conform to the norm. And then they have to not conform to the norm in specific ways. So it's kind of hard for me to find a good partner. Although, I'm getting there. I've been actually much more social in the last couple months. I'm talking to many more people than I used to, in the hopes of meeting a girlfriend, and then also in the hopes of meeting people who might want to move here, because I do want a bigger community of cool people. And the most difficult thing is always, whenever I say the word community, almost everyone hears the word commune. But if you look it up in the dictionary, a community is not a commune. A commune is a community, but it's a very specific type of community. But the community I want to be in would be more like, I can't even say this without people misinterpreting it, like an anarchist community. No rules, no collaboration, no shared resources. You just collaborate if you feel like it. All voluntary collaboration, And everyone has their own stuff. But even then, you say the word anarchist, and people are like, "Oh my God, running around murdering people wearing Jello hats or something." But anarchists really just are against rulers. Like it's just like if you're an anarchist, you basically just want to be free. Um, but there's a lot of government propaganda that takes the word anarchist or anarchy and tries to make it sound like some situation where people are just going crazy murdering each other, which is not what it is at all. Um, it's actually just literally not wanting that government, which is why governments don't like the word, you know. Let's see. Started sewing again. What are you sewing, Mr. Landfill? I've been sewing too. They got some thick women down there. Okay, yes, there are some thick women. And not that I have anything against thick women. It's just I lead a very active lifestyle, and I need to be with someone who's active and in good shape. I can't be with someone who's too thick. Yeah. I mean, you know, anyway, I mean, you can be thick and in good shape too, but generally speaking, the kind of thickness we're talking about here is not, it's the sedentary thickness. Yeah, I need to be with someone active, like really active and motivated, which is not what most people are. It's like non-conformist to be active and healthy these days, which is unfortunate. I'm just surviving life at the moment. Nice. Lots of nice Korean girls. Whoa, here? There's no, well, maybe I should go to Korea or import a Korean girlfriend. Do you live in Korea? Arkansas Traveler 70. Are you in Korea? Is that where you're traveling? Mr. Yana Roby. Cold rain in Maine. Fire in the wood stove. Oh, I miss that. I miss that. Like sometimes people ask me what I miss from living in the States. There are a couple things I miss. Mostly just to do with cold. I miss the spring I had in Vermont, like the spring, like a water spring, because it was always cold and it was always delicious. Man, that was the best water ever. And it always came out cold. So even if it was like a hot summer and like muggy and hot, I had the spring like coming into a tube, and the tube would run almost horizontal until it was high enough above the ground that it could pour into a big tub. And I had this 300-gallon tub that was cold. It was always cold, no matter how warm it was out. The spring came out cold, and that tub was known as the Arctic dip. And man, on a hot summer day, I would just cannonball into there and just lay there, just freezing. Oh, so nice. But yeah, and then the other thing is, yeah, you know, going outside and working outside all day in the snow and in the cold, and then going inside into a warm house. That was always a really nice feeling too. But you know, here I have an all-year growing season for food, you know, which is pretty awesome. Oh, you just graduated college, Andrew. Do you have loans? I hope you don't have loans. How would you make your commune not a cult? Yeah, I don't want a commune. I don't want anything where anyone has to drink the Kool-Aid. I don't want anything where people are like communally doing things together because of some rules. Like if people want to get together and do something, like I just want to live around cool people. I want cool neighbors. I don't want this organized thing where it's like we've all got our lists of stuff we have to do and we all share a thing and then because like someone always screws it up, you know. You can't have, I don't know, I'm sure some people make this work at times, but like all the communities that are like communes that I've known of, like after a while, like it's usually the second generation. Like one generation will come together and make this commune, and then the kids just want to leave, or they don't maintain it, or people start coming in who just are not in, they're not, they're not of the same mindset and start screwing it up and stuff. But I mean, that's one of the reasons I just want a community of people, like you're responsible for yourself, not a commune. I mean, there's a community here now. Like there are people who live around here. There's already a community. I just want to have cool neighbors that I can get along with and, like to build stuff and I can learn stuff from and all that. Don't think he wants a commune. Thank you, Mr. Landfill. Yes. See, that's a weird thing. Like I even just made this whole speech about how I want a community that is not a commune. And then someone asks, no offense or anything, but someone asks, about my commune. He wants a community, yes. He wants you to be able to take care of yourself and hang out. Yeah, the thing is, like, I want everyone to be responsible for themselves first before, collaborating with anyone else. Because that's one of the problems in a commune. People show up to a commune and they think, oh, I don't have to take care of myself. The community will take care of me. And then, like, people who are lazy kind of get a free pass in a lot of things. And that's not anything I want. No, I want everyone to be responsible for themselves first. And then once they've got their own crap taken care of, then they can, use their extra time to do things with other people. And, that's when the really cool projects happen, when you have a group of people who have their own shit taken care of, right? So they're not bringing all their crap into the project, but they've got their own crap taken care of. And then they can meet and everyone can show up and be like, yeah, I've got resources and energy and whatever to bring into this. And I'm not trying to take out of it all the time, And then you can have some really cool projects going. And it really sucks when you're like a really responsible person around people who want a commune and want to be taken care of, because then you end up being the one taking care of them. And I'm not interested in doing that. Sewing pouches for practice. My goal is backpacks. Nice. That's great. 30 years ago, I used to sew Renfest cloths. Cool. Oh, clothes, not cloths. Clothes, right? Clothes has an E in it, I think. I moved to Bocas almost 2 years ago. I miss ice cream. Wait. David Van Colin. It's not colon, because that would be a bum thing. You moved to Bocas almost 2 years ago and you miss ice cream. There's ice cream in Bocas. There's like every one of those little shops has a freezer with ice creams in it. And then there are like Scoopy ice cream places, and there's a place with gelato. You can get ice cream in town. What are you talking about? How would you miss ice cream? You can go to the grocery store and buy a tub. You can make your own ice cream. There's so many ice cream options. I don't know how you can miss ice cream unless you've got some fancy ice cream. But they have pretty fancy ice cream. I mean, they have Haagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry's in town. I don't know. Jaimie, would you not like me because I smoke herb? No, I mean, if I don't like you, it's going to be for a reason other than that. I have friends who smoke weed. They know I don't, so it's like they don't like come and blow it in my face or anything. But yeah, I don't. You should do whatever you do. Do your thing, man. But yeah, don't blow it in my face and stuff. A community with trustworthy, creative people who have mutual respect for one another, and also some nice girls. Yes. Yeah, that's what I want. A community that's not. I don't feel like it has to be defined. I don't want it to be. I definitely don't want it to be a commune. There's certain things I would not want to define it as. Definitely not a commune. Like pretty anarchistically organized, as in not organized, like people just self-organize and self-regulate and all that stuff. Yeah, some nice girls is always a nice thing. I make extra pockets on the inside of pants for ID, papers, and money. That's a good idea. How do you preserve meat? Do you have a fridge? I don't have a fridge. Deshana recently got a fridge freezer, so she's been keeping meat in that, and I go every few days to. I mean, whenever I'm over there, I usually I take a bowl or two with me. I have a set of bowls, big stainless steel bowls. This is like one of the medium. This is one of the smaller ones. They get bigger. Someone sent me this off my Amazon wish list. It was like a set of 8 bowls or something. Oh, I love these bowls. Thank you. They're nice and thick. Anyway, whenever I go to Deshaina's house, I always take a bowl or two. And yeah, I'll get some meat or cheese, or meat and cheese. That's why I would have 2 bowls out of her fridge. That's what's going on lately. I do have parts to make a fridge. I haven't done it just because Deshaina has the thing, and I'm over there every few days for some reason or another. Jaimie, are you working on any new video games? No, I haven't been. I think it would be awesome if you made something in Unity. I actually played around with Unity a bit years ago. The reason I didn't really get into it is because I didn't want to get that into something. Like if I'm going to make, like if I was going to do a game in Unity, it would probably be like a first person, like a first person, not shooter, like a first person adventure game. But there's just a lot of things I would have to learn about how the program works and stuff. And I don't have the time or the mental, what's it called? The mental extra space. Like my brains are already used up on a lot of things. Yeah, I don't have the time or the extra brain resources to devote to something like that. Maybe when I get old and I'm not doing stuff anymore, but I do think that would be a fun thing to do, though. Make a really cool video game. I used to make custom Doom levels, maps, and stuff. That was always fun. Oh, David says the ice cream has been melted and refrozen in town. Is that because the power was out recently? Yeah, in town near here, there's a situation where they've been doing some new power system stuff, and apparently it's not working very well. The power's been out a lot. So hold on, give me a second. Speaking of power, not that this has anything to do with power, but I'm noticing some bugs. So I'm gonna light, this is a coconut husk. So, a full coconut is like this. You rip the husk off, and then there's the coconut part inside, and crack that open, you get the coconut. But anyway, the coconut husks, once they dry out, you light them and they smoke. And this will probably smoke for, I don't know, half an hour. It depends how lit it is, but just at this amount, it'll probably smoke for like half an hour. But this will get rid of bugs. Bugs do not like it. I don't want it in my face, but so if anyone's wondering what I do about bugs, that's pretty much it. And the only reason there are bugs inside right now is because I have this really bright light on, and they don't usually come in here enough that I turn a smoker on inside, but whatever. So yeah, the ice cream has been melted and refrozen in town, so don't get any ice cream in town. I don't get any ice cream in town anyway, because I don't eat sugar. It's too much sugar. I have in the past had just like just naturally made ice cream with no sugar, nothing added to it. It was delicious. Oh my God, it was amazing. And after I had that, I was like, why do they even bother putting anything else in it? It's just so good. It's basically just like frozen cream. Let's see. I keep a tiny pocket in the back of my pants with a handcuff key in it for reasons. Oh, that is funny. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad thing to do if there's hey, you get kidnapped or arrested by the cops. The problem is if you get arrested by the cops and then you bust open your handcuffs, they might not be down with that. Awesome, dude. I don't know what you're talking about, but cool. A dose of East Coast. Yeah. Do you think it's a good idea to make a raised bed garden with styrocrete to prevent soil runoff and tree roots? Well, I don't know. That might be a decent idea. Try it, man. Yeah. Sounds like a reasonable idea. The way I've been doing my raised beds is I've been making them out of just wood, like logs, pieces of wood. But that's because I'm raising the ground in that area up to the level of the raised bed. So I wanted something, a border that would rot and end up feeding the plants, and actually, out in front of my house, there are a few raised beds, and I've been filling in the ground up to the level of the raised beds, and I've got most of it done. That's one of those projects I was thinking was going to take me years, but I just started digging a lot lately, and it's mostly done. It's pretty cool. And the reason I wanted to do that is because, like, there's one side of my front lawn that kind of floods a little bit when the tide is really high, and I just want to get like above water level, like the high tide water level. If I'm like a foot above that, then I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable for a while, But yeah, I think you could definitely do raised beds with styrocrete, sure. When are you starting beekeeping? I don't know, man. Oh, I have so much going on. It's definitely on my list, though. I want to have bees. I guess that's another one of those things where it's like, if I had someone else here, like if I had a domestic partner, like a serious girlfriend who was like here and in it with me, and we were working on the stuff together, I feel like I could handle a lot more of that kind of stuff. But right now it's just me, and it's like there's a limit to how much stuff I can do at once. So I'll get to beekeeping eventually, I'm sure. But yeah, if I had someone else here with me, I feel like I could, get a dog, have bees, a bunch of other stuff like that. Where's all the videos? What are you talking about? You mean my videos are all on YouTube? Like, if you're watching this channel doesn't have that many videos. But my other channel, Jaimie Builds, that one has tons of videos. It's got thousands of them. Actually, I recently signed up on Rumble, which is like a YouTube competitor. And one of the reasons I did that is because there's a little thing you can push that will kind of import all of your YouTube videos over there. And I thought it might be nice to have a backup. So everything would get saved over there too. But that's going to take, I don't know how long that's going to take. I did that 2 days ago and it hasn't transferred them yet. It said if there's a lot of videos, it might take a while. So we'll see. Thumbs up, everyone, Mr. Lenville. Find a woman through workaway programs. We have a workaway, but right now my workaway profile is under review. So it's not, live. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe they're just, I don't know. Maybe it's a routine thing or maybe there's a problem. I don't know. Jaimie needs to put Tesla bots on his Amazon wish list. What am I going to do with Tesla bots? Aren't they going to need a whole bunch of maintenance and stuff? You're not taking videos of anything. What do you mean? Okay, TDH, what are you talking about? I'm not taking videos of anything. You mean like right now? Or, I mean, the last video I uploaded was a couple days ago, but I can't make a video every day and have it be something interesting. Yeah, like 2 or 3 days ago, I uploaded 2 videos. I did just get the charge controller for my little white boat, the zombie chopper, which I've been waiting for. I got it today. Yeah, no, yesterday. I don't know. I think I got it yesterday. But I haven't put it in that. And as soon as I put it in the boat, I'll have a video of doing that. And then I'll be able to test the boat, which will be super fun. But yeah, I've been making videos of stuff. They're all mostly on Jaimie Builds channel. And this is Jaimie Talks, which I haven't been talking as much because what I was saying before, I'm just like busy all the time. Oh, gardening, TDH. I'm not taking videos of gardening. Yeah. Well, the thing is with gardening, everything happens so slowly. Like I showed the garden area that I was chewing up and then, burnt a dead tree into and, put a bunch of compost. But then it's like I gotta wait like 2 or 3 months for the compost thingy, and maybe I'll just make a video of some of my plants that are going well. A lot of my plants are not going well, but some of them are going well. And yeah, I keep messing around with things. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I keep messing around, and then every time something works, I'm like, yes. And then it's like, okay, I've got that going. And then I'll start messing around with all the stuff that's not working till I get something that works. And, yeah, I guess I can do a gardening video showing everything that's going. Do you have jackfruit? It's like ice cream when frozen. I do have a jackfruit tree. That's one of those ones that's not growing very well. It's not dying or anything. It's just not really growing. So I might have to dig it up and move it. Like, it looks healthy-ish, like pretty healthy. It looks pretty healthy. It's just not getting bigger, you know? So yeah, I think I need to move it. Put it in some different soil or something. I just don't want to, I don't know. Thanks for the stream, Jaimie. My hometown Denver is in the NBA finals, so I have to go watch it now. Have a great rest of your night. Yeah, go watch those NBA finals. Man, I haven't watched sports in a long time. I was never into watching sports, actually. So I guess, yeah, I've never really watched sports. 70 Rock Shocks says, that's why all I do is look after hedgehogs in the garden. Too many things to work on, fix, etc. Doing everything yourself. Hogs, zero maintenance. LOL. Yeah, it's a, you know, like living off grid, it really makes it clear how valuable it is to have a partner you trust. Because, you know, I moved off grid. I didn't move off grid. I originally moved off grid by myself, and everything was fine. But then when I came to Central America, I moved off grid with a woman who we just didn't really mesh. We don't work well together. Let's just say that we don't work that well together, and it's really made a lot of things very difficult, up to the point where, you know, we basically just decided to have separate pretty much everything, and then things got a lot better. But man, just having like a partner that you could trust and who is useful and adds value to the situation, it would be so amazing. I mean, that's not what our society is doing right now, but man, it would be so cool. All right, you definitely think you know better when it comes to safety. That's gonna bite you in the ass. You know what? Go fuck yourself. That's all I have to say about that. Go fuck yourself. Hey, can someone block Odinata? Go fuck yourself. You know what? You know what sucks? I'm just gonna, let's see. Hide user on this channel. Yeah, go fuck off. You know, when you disagree with someone, to wish harm upon them is just pathetic. And that's why I swore. It's so fucking stupid. Like throughout my life, I've disagreed with a lot of people. And whenever I disagree with someone, I'm always just like, okay, you know, you have your idea, I have my idea. I'm going to do my thing, you do your thing. You know, as long as it's not like interfering with what I'm doing and making my life difficult, I'm just like, do whatever you want. But like, they're assholes like this person right here. And I'm sorry to chew you out here, but you really crossed the line there. You know, when you disagree with someone and then wish harm upon them, that's just not okay. That's really not okay. That's just a totally destructive thing. It's one of the problems. It's one of the big problems we have in our society that we have in, you know, just human culture today is people disagree and they can't be civil about it. They have to wish harm upon you. Another one is like, I'm not into socialism at all. I don't like socialism. Everyone here knows that. But if you speak to a socialist, a communist, their response to that will often be, I hope your kids get sick and are dying and you need the social system and you won't have it and you'll have to watch your kids die. I mean, like, what the fuck? Really? Wishing harm upon someone else because you disagree with them. Like, it's just pathetic. So yeah, that guy can fuck off. Let's see. Oh, I can't read that message because that's deleted. Oh, I guess that worked. Good. I like the videos about Jaimie's Mad Max PVC type PVC bow and arrows. Any news? Ooh, Any news about what? My bow and arrow? I haven't done anything with it. I mean, just shot around. Well, my kids, I had to make my kids a bow too. They can't use the one I was using, but they have a smaller PVC pipe, just PVC pipe with a piece of paracord. And they spent hours this weekend running around outside shooting just the hill. I made sure they knew to, first be fair and take turns, and always everybody stand behind the shooter, and the shooter shoot away from all the people, nowhere near anyone, because you got to be safe about that stuff. But yeah, I haven't shot anything with a bow and arrow or anything yet. I need 10 jackfruit trees. Could you make a solar bug zapper? I could make a solar bug zapper. Yeah, I should be able to do that. Right now, oh, you know what I've made? There's one back there at the other end of my house, near where I sleep. So it's not doing anything for me right here. My coconut husk went out. Okay, the way to make sure the coconut husks don't go out is you take one like this and you take one like that and you just lay them together, and then they kind of make a fire inside and keep themselves going. But I don't want to do that because it's going to make too much smoke. I just want a little bit of smoke to keep the bugs out of here. But the bug murder device that I have built, I have videos of these from years ago, is basically a light in a tube, like a PVC tube with a light inside it and a fan inside it. And at the other end is just like a sock of mesh stuff, just like mesh that the air can blow through, but the bugs will get stuck in. So the bugs come and see the light and they fly in there and they get sucked into the mesh and they can't get out. And that seems to work pretty well. Let's see, bug zapper to accompany the nut husk smoke. Yeah, followed you for years, bud. I know what happened, etc. But yeah. Better with someone else to help out works. Yeah, I agree with you, Jaimie. I'm not sure what you agree with, but beautiful. Although even if you disagreed with me, I'd be comfortable with that. That is actually one of the things. That's one of the big problems I think we have in the world today, is that people think they can't disagree with other people, but it should be a totally normal thing to disagree with someone and not get remotely upset about it. Like, if anything, you should be kind of happy when you disagree with someone, because when you disagree with someone, if you talk to that person, they're going to have perspectives on things that are different than yours, which opens the possibility of learning something. You might even learn something new that you just have not been exposed to before. So yeah, I think it's important to be able to disagree with people. Although, like I was just saying, if someone disagrees with me, and because of that disagreement, they wish harm upon me or my family, they can fuck off. That person, I don't care. There's nothing they can say after that point that means anything. It's just go away. What is your next big project? Oh man, what is my next big project? Well, let's see. I got the one boat done, the tiger shark slicer. That's going amazing. I drove it today. I've driven it a lot in the last week or two. I don't know, when did I finish it? I've driven it a lot. There have been no problems. I think I'm starting to think that I'm comfortable enough with it that I could drive to town and back without worrying about it, having a problem or something. I'll still want to drive it a little more around here before I do a long trip, but it's looking pretty good. And then the zombie chopper, I just got the last piece, the charge controller for that, so I can finish that probably tomorrow. And then the lumber mill, I got the lumber mill done. That's been working amazingly well. I'm so happy with that. And I'm working on, well, I guess a lot of it is gardening. Gardening is this continual thing, and I've started putting more and more effort into gardening because I've been putting kind of half-assed effort into it for a while, and I'm getting a little bit of results, but I want to get a lot more results. Like I want to be growing all my own food, in a reasonable amount of time. Not like 40 years from now, like a couple years from now would be great. So I've been working on that a lot, like soil stuff, fixing up the soil, moving dirt around. And then another thing is making a guest house. So at some point on one of these lives, I may just do a live about what people think the guest house should have in it, or what it should be like. And, I'll give some parameters about the stuff I have available and, whatever. But yeah, this guest house is probably the next major building thing. And figuring out how to get logs from the jungle to the lumber mill. That's going to be a pretty big one coming up. But that's going to be a multi-part project, because I can't currently drive my cargo boat like right up to the land. So I'm going to have to do some clearing out of some crap so I can get the boat right up to the land. And then I don't know, once that happens, I guess I'll just have to find a log somewhere and try to move it to the boat and see what works and what doesn't work, and what I feel like is gonna, like what kind of paths I think will be usable, what kind of cart or log mover thing. Hopefully I can do everything, move logs with my own human power. I don't want to have a machine or something that's going to use energy where I'll have to, it just gets more complicated, that way. If I can use my own human power, that really saves a lot of complication. There's a lizard on my window outside. Oh, okay. It looked like he only had 3 legs, but one was home. Just tucked that up under him. I wonder if I could show you that. Can I show you the lizard? Hold on, let me flip my camera. Where's the flip camera button? Oh, where's the flip camera? There it is. Which hand is in the way? Okay. All right. Oh man, how can we get? Oh, there we go. So there's that guy, a little gecko, and then there's another one up there. Oh, he just went out the window. But yeah, there are always a bunch of lizards on my window right out here. And they're running away now because I was shining the light at them. Hold on, let me switch this back. I don't know, it's like in my kitchen, that's like the TV, is like what the geckos are doing on the outside of the window. They're always there. There must be something they like about that window, just that particular window too. And the funny thing is they're kind of translucent, so you can see the eggs inside the geckos. I think that's eggs. I don't even know. Let's see, what is your next big project? Yeah, I think like the logs and the guest house. The guest house is going to be, yeah, I should make that really good. Not allowed opinion anymore. Free speech. What's that? Yeah. Not allowed to have an opinion because people don't like your opinion. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, just my whole life, it's been really frustrating. It's been one of the really frustrating things, is that you can't disagree with people or they get upset. So I grew up in Canada, and Canada's a pretty socialist country. But if you say that to a lot of Canadians, oh my God, they go crazy. But it is a pretty socialist country. Oh no, oh God, don't say that to my dad. He'll blow his top. But like when I was in high school, like I would get in fights with people, and I'd be like, why are you getting so angry? I'm not trying to fight with you. I'm just saying it's more socialist than I would like. And then, it comes down to well, you're going to suffer and your children. And then it just turns into threats, and it's stupid. Like, yeah, you should be able to have different opinions on things without it being a problem. But I mean, one of the problems with communism and socialism is that everyone has to be the same or it doesn't work. If everyone is chipping into the same medical system, for example, then you have to start controlling people so that some people aren't screwing up the cost of it. So you have to start really controlling people and like limiting their actions and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Anyway, communists are nuts. Papayas. Oh, papayas. Yes. Okay. So I had one big papaya tree, and now one papaya tree on its own, unless it's like one of those hermaphroditic ones, which I don't have. One papaya tree on its own won't make papayas. I need a boy papaya tree and a girl papaya tree, and then the girl papaya tree will make fruit. But I only had one papaya tree, and this thing was like huge. It was like, I don't know, 10 feet tall already. And by that point, it should be making papayas, except there's no pollinator. But then some other papaya trees started popping up. So I have at least 3 papaya trees that are like, not a meter tall, but they're like big enough that it's like, okay, those are definitely papaya trees. And pretty soon they'll be at the point when they can start making fruit. But I'm like, but this big one, by the time these ones can pollinate it, the big one is going to be so tall, the papayas are going to be like way, like miles up there, right? So I was like, all right, what can I do about this? So I took my machete and swiped the papaya tree and cut it down to a meter. And I was kind of hoping it wouldn't kill it. And sure enough, a week later, little sprouts started coming out of the side of the cut papaya tree. So hopefully those other 3 papaya trees and this one that I cut will collaborate, and there will be at least one boy and at least one girl, and I'll get some papayas out of them. Which I'm pretty excited about, because papayas are delicious. Although papayas, when I first tried papayas, they had like this weird flavor that was kind of, I don't know, not bitter, but like not totally agreeing with me. But then after I ate enough of them, that flavor disappeared, or yeah, I mean, like I got used to it or whatever. And now papayas are just delicious. They're just amazingly delicious. So I'm really excited to grow papayas. And I also have some little tiny papaya trees that have just sprung up. And you know, whenever I eat papayas, I try spreading the seeds around. I plant a few on purpose. Some I just kind of throw and just, you know, I don't know, spits them all over. Like I put papaya seeds all over the place. So it looks like I'm getting some papaya trees, and hopefully I'll get some papayas soon. And they look healthy and they're growing well and everything, you know. Oh, TDH says papayas are easy to grow. Yeah. The thing is, they're hard to plant. No papaya trees that I've purposely planted have grown. I don't know why. It's always the ones where I just like threw some glob of seeds and then they grow there, you know, or they'll grow out of like a compost pit or something, you know. Sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt ye or opinions. I'm growing papayas right now. Yeah, sticks and stones. However, when someone starts talking about physical harm coming to you, it's a real short step to actually trying to cause harm to a person, you know? And sometimes it can even be just some little nudge, like someone just has the opportunity to cause a problem for someone, and because they disagreed with them and didn't like them, they'll just do something crappy. You know, you know, the sticks and stones things will hurt, blah, blah, break your bones, but names will never hurt me. I don't buy that. Because like when people start calling names and start saying crappy things to each other, it's just the beginning of this hatred that often leads to physical like violence or just difficulties of various kinds, you know. Yeah. Apologies for typos. Having a munch near keys. Yeah, there's always a lot of typos, man. When I type on my tablet, my hands are too big for this thing. I typo a lot. You need a log dolly. Yes, I'll probably build some kind of log dolly. Not a railway though, Barady. I don't plan on building a railway because a railway only goes one place, and I don't have to deconstruct a railway and then reconstruct it every time, you know, I'm getting a different log from a different spot. I'd rather just have something with good wheels that can go on, you know, like a decent path. Although I'm sure I'm going to have to do some off-roading. But hopefully I can figure out a way when I'm getting logs to have some kind of decent path that goes a lot of different places. And then if I find a log, you know, I can cut it to size and just like do whatever I need to get it onto the path. And then once it's on the path, I use the log dolly or whatever I'm using. I still keep thinking, like, a log dolly with ratcheting wheels that will only go forward I think that's going to be really useful. Particularly, when you're going up a hill, because you just pull it forward, even if you can just get it a couple inches at a time, it's not going to roll backwards. So you just got to keep, yanking it up. Have you had any scary encounters or spooky moments at night? Well, today, my daughter, who was behind the house, ran around the house screaming, like around the outside of the house. And at first I was like, oh, they're just playing. But then I was like, well, that sounds a little bit different than just the I'm playing scream. So I was like, what's up? There's this big spider, like a big spider. So I went back to the back of the house, and sure enough, there was like a big spider back there. And I don't know exactly what it was, but I wasn't going to wait to find out. So I just smacked it with a machete. I got stung by a scorpion a few weeks ago. I mentioned that a little while ago. It wasn't that bad though. Yeah, it wasn't a big deal at all. It was uncomfortable, but I wouldn't say. I mean, even when I was having the experience of I was stung by the scorpion, I was like, oh, that's an interesting bit of pain in my foot now. It wasn't like horrible. I wasn't like, oh my God, I can't wait for this to be over. It was just kind of like, oh, yeah. I don't know. I can't really think of any scary situations I've had. I haven't had any sharks come up to me yet or anything. Whenever I go swimming in the morning, often in the mornings, I'll go out to my little beach and I'll swim a lap around the entire island and then come in. And when I'm swimming the lap, I'll do different strokes, and I'll do fast parts and then slow parts and, some legs only, different things. But I always carry a knife, a diving knife. It's just like a stainless steel murder machine in my hand, just in case some thing in the water comes after me. Like I want to at least be able to fight, have a chance at survival if something comes after me. Because if I don't have anything, like if a shark attacks me, I punch it in the nose with my bare hands, maybe I'll get lucky. But like if I have a knife, I can fight just about anything in the water, right? And at least have some reasonable chance, like a way to hurt it. Treetop roller coaster with a loop. Let's see. You know what? Okay, one scary encounter I had at night was when I was driving a boat home, and this was a pedal boat. And I don't remember exactly what happened, but it ended up being, I think I went to pick someone up and they were late. So I ended up driving home in the dark, which is not ideal. I mean, I can do it. And I did have a handheld light with me, which was good. But I was just driving home in the dark, and some huge boat was coming the other way. And for like a couple seconds, it was heading straight at us. And the thing was, with a boat, particularly a boat with a big motor, like the bow of the boat will be way up and the people can't see what's ahead of them. So even when I turn the light on, they can't see it. Like I've seen people almost hit kayakers and stuff because they're driving their boat fast and the front of the boat's up so they can't see what's right in front of them. One time I was with a guy and he's driving and he's heading straight for a guy in a canoe. And I'm like, dude, you got to turn. And he's like heading straight for him. And I just grabbed the steering wheel and yanked him over. And if I hadn't done that, he would have just totally killed that guy. Or maybe he would have jumped out of the canoe, but like he would have hit that canoe. But anyway, it's at night. It's pretty dark, like no moon or anything. I can still navigate because I know the area pretty well, but can't see that much. But I can hear this boat coming and I can see it. And it was coming straight for us for several seconds before it kind of veered off to the side and went like just beside us. And I was like, holy shit. And my friend was like, who I went to pick up, he was like, holy shit, we almost just died. And I was like, I know. Yeah, that was probably the scariest thing. Oh, let's see. Get a laser pointer to play with the geckos. I do have a laser pointer. Usually I just use it to play with the kids. Which is funny because like I can only do it like, once or twice a year. Like it has to be a long enough period of time that they forget that I have this laser pointer. But it's just this, it's a laser diode that I got the right resistor for and a little plug-in thing. So I can plug it in and then it's, a little red dot maker. So I'll just like sneak over to my room while the kids are like reading books or doing something. And I'll get the thing and just shine it at them. And they're like, what's that? What's that? What's that? And I always figure it out eventually. But... Hi, Jaimie. Glad to catch you live. I've been planting geoduck clams today. What are geoduck clams? Is that like clams or is that a plant? Planting geoduck clams. Oh, wait a minute. Is this like one of those geo game things where you put something and then someone has to find it with a GPS thing? I don't know what it is. I feel we're sort of living in that Idiocracy movie at the moment. Not quite as bad, but not far off. Yeah, I've said this before, and a lot of other people have said this to me too, without me even saying anything. But like when Idiocracy first came out, like people would watch it and be like, "Oh, ha, that's so crazy! Oh my gosh, that's so ridiculous! Can you imagine? Oh my gosh!" But you watch Idiocracy today, and it's just like, what? Why do they make a movie about just like normal life? Why? What? I don't get it. It's just like normal. It's crazy, like how much our society has changed and how far. In Idiocracy, it took them like 500 years to get to the point where, welcome to Costco, I love you. Welcome to Costco, I love you. But like for us, like 20 years went by, and it's like we're halfway there, or 3/4 even. I know, it's ridiculous. It's so crazy. All right. Do you go to the private hospital or public one in Panama? I don't know how to answer this question. Do I go? Well, I just go to the hospital in town. I don't know if it's privately owned or, I can go in it and then I get whatever I'm done and then I pay the thing and then I leave. I don't know. What do you want? You should really make a shredder for leaves. I've been thinking about it actually. Well, not a shredder, but hold on. It will really speed up the soil making process for your garden. Okay, so if I grind things up, it will make things compost faster. But the thing is, it's so wet and moist here and hot that things compost pretty fast anyway. But the thing that would be really, really useful is a rototiller, ground chewer. So I've been thinking about making one of those. Although my neighbor, my friend, he's been talking about a rototiller and a chipper, like a wood chipper. Although I'm getting a lot of sawdust out of my lumber mill. So that will help in a lot of ways. I can't just use that because I don't know. There's some stuff I don't remember, but anyway, yeah, I want a rototiller. I want to make a rototiller. Evening, Jaimie. Hope you're doing well. I'm making my first loaf of bread from scratch tonight. Wish me luck. Oh, that's great. Okay, when I made my first loaf of bread, my reaction after I made the dough was like, well, that is way easier than I thought. I thought this was like a difficult thing. And the reason I thought it was a difficult thing is because my brother used to make bread from scratch. And man, when he did it, he had out like 14.5 bowls and all these measured temperatures of water. And then it was like a freaking science experiment. But he was doing it the complicated way. My oldest daughter taught me how to make normal bread a few years ago. And I was like, well, that's so easy. And then like a year after that, I was like, what's this sourdough situation? Deshana did sourdough. So I was like, can I have some of this sourdough starter? And can you give me like the most basic instructions of how to make a loaf of bread? And now I make it, I just make bread with sourdough all the time. It's so easy and you don't have to buy anything, which is my favorite part. For anyone who doesn't know what sourdough is, let me get my starter. This is a filthy lid. This here is bubbles. There are bubbles, but this thing's name is bubbles. I don't want to tip it anymore. I'm going to dump it out. But there are a bunch of bubbles in there. It smells yeasty. This is my sourdough thing. I guess it's the sourdough starter. I don't know. I don't really like to call it a sourdough starter though. I just call it bubbles. Anyway, if I take a bunch of bubbles out, like bubbles is just a blob. It's just this living blob that makes bubbles and whatever. If I take a blob of bubbles and put it in a bowl, mix it with some flour until I just put flour in until I mix it and it's like bread dough consistency, more or less. Put a little bit of salt in, and that's it. Let it sit there for a few hours and it rises, and then cook it. So easy to do. And, I've heard, when I went online and looked up how to do sourdough, and people are like insane about their sourdoughs. They're like, you have to measure out the number of grams of flour and then the number of grams of water, and then mix it in perfectly and very carefully. And this is all this exact precise stuff. I just throw a few scoops of flour in there, put it under the water, and just looks about right. And sometimes it comes out wetter, sometimes it's drier. It keeps working. So you don't have to be exact at all. Let's see. Man, I hope the bread goes well. In regards to moving logs or lumber, May is asking, what about a travois? What's that? What is a travois? Oh, I'm going to have to look that up. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what a travois is. Travois. I don't know what it is. Nom nom. Hope it works out. Oh, that's Celeste. Celeste, what is a travois? You got to tell me this later. Eat all of the male papaya flowers you can find. It's medicine. Really? So the male papaya flowers are super good for me. I see. In that case, I don't want to call them male papaya flowers because that's going to make me not want to eat them. Eat these male genitals, please. Let's just call them papaya flowers. The non-fruit papaya flowers. Oh, zip line with a pulley and winch to tow log optional. Yeah. Zip line sounds a lot better than it is, I think. Like a zip line holding up like 3,000 pounds. Do you know how much tension that's going to put on the line? Man, you'd have to have it anchored really, really, really super well. And it's going to, yeah. I think there are definitely easier ways than doing a zip line. And tow the log uphill. I don't know. The other day, I ate a pizza made of 127-year-old sourdough starter. Oh my gosh. I can't go any further back. 127-year-old sourdough starter. Is it? I've heard they get better with time. And my sourdough starter, Deshana had for years before I got it. And she said, wait, I don't remember if that's one she started or if she got it from someone else. But I have noticed mine definitely changes over time. And it's better now than it was. Like it tastes better now than it did when I first got it. And not that it tasted bad, it just tastes like really good now, Like we call it donut bread. It's just really good. But I want to try some 127-year-old sourdough starter bread. How was it? Like, was it? I don't know. These guys are going to bed in 9 minutes. We're just tuning in for a minute to say, oh, well, hello, guys. I hope you guys are having an excellent time. I hope you have a good sleep. I might be far enough behind on comments that, no, I don't think I'm very far behind on comments right now. Yeah. Oh, I hope you guys have good dreams. Have you considered getting or making a big winch for pulling the logs out of the jungle? Yes, I have considered making a big winch. Definitely. I bet you could get some pawpaws grow. Whoa, what are pawpaws? Some pawpaws grow. Okay, now I have to remember a travois and pawpaws. I do have some rambutans growing, some rambutan trees. They're like lychee fruit, except like, these spikes all over them. And I planted a bunch all over the place. And 2 of them look like they're growing really well. So hopefully I'll have some some rambutan lychee nut things at some point. I don't know what pawpaws are. True on the sticks and stone side. That's why I walk away instead of trying. Torion. Learn these days. Learn these days though. I'm not sure what you're saying. There might be a typo in there. I just knocked over my thing. All right. Hold on. I just had to reload my chats. For some reason, this chat thing today keeps stopping, and I have to keep reloading it. Okay, I could grow some pawpaws, sticks and stones. To reason. That's why I walk away instead of trying to reason. Learn these days. Yeah, trying to reason with someone. Yeah, you can disagree with someone, and it's fine, and you can speak reasonably right up to the point when they start wishing harm upon you. Then there's no conversation after that. Like once they're like, "You're gonna suffer. You're gonna." I mean, it's. Then you're not talking to someone who's reasonable. Then you're talking to someone who has a religion. Like as in, like they're speaking the gospel. There is no contradicting it. There's no reasonable. It's just that is it, and there's no way around it. You know, it's just pointless at that point to talk to someone. Did I miss something? Is someone messing with Jaimie? Don't mess with Jaimie. Oh, it was just someone a little bit ago. Actually, this is the first time this has happened since I've been doing these lives. I've been doing these lives for like a year or something. You guys have been super awesome. But I don't know, a little bit ago, someone, I don't even remember what the comment was about, but he was like, I don't know, wishing harm upon me. I don't even remember what he was talking about. But basically, it was like, you're going to suffer, whatever, you know. And I told him to go F himself and blocked him. Put a solar winch on the log dolly. See, I want to try not to use anything that's going to. Okay, the problem with a solar winch is I'm going to have a solar panel with me then, and it's probably not going to be strong enough with a solar panel, particularly if I'm in the forest where the light is blocked. So I'm going to have to have a battery and a motor and all this stuff. Like it gets really a lot more complicated once I have a power source that's not just me. So like personally, as long as I am a strong, healthy person, I would rather like have a big crank and just use my own muscles and my own energy to do things and not have to take all this extra equipment with me. And the other cool side effect of that is that the more I use my own physical strength, the longer it'll last. You know, the stronger I'll get, the stronger I'll stay. You know. Love you, Jaimie. Well, thanks. Weird question, just for fun. Do you have toenail clippers? I have nail clippers. I use the same ones for my fingers and my toes. Is that a bad thing? I think it's okay. I cut my nails when my feet are clean. But yeah, I do have nail clippers. I also have tweezers. Jaimie, wilderness pain scale. We start with the bullet ants. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of goes back to the track and field thing too. You know, when I first started running track and field, in case anyone missed it, someone asked me to elaborate on track and field lessons at the beginning of this. But anyway, when I was first doing track and field, one of the things I learned to deal with was pain, and I learned to recognize the difference between good pain and bad pain. You know, like I'm running hard and I feel like I can't go anymore, and it's just like agonizing. Good pain. That's good pain. That's the pain of getting stronger. But if I'm running and I suddenly get a sharp pain on the inside of my shin, no, that's bad pain. That means something's tearing, and you gotta like take care of it, you know. But yeah, it's like, and I kind of learned that pain isn't something to be afraid of. It's not just like, oh my God, that's something. It's like it's your body giving you information. You know, pain is just information. It's feedback. It's like, okay, something happened, and here's the best feedback we can give you. And we're making it painful to make sure you notice it. And here it is. You know, when you start thinking about pain that way, then, you know, pain is it's just a useful thing. It's not something to be all scared of, whatever. Everyone is so worried about Jaimie's food supply. Stuff like a case of 12 cans of Del Monte green beans runs about $20. Wow, that's so much. Better to buy the cheap stuff instead of having to marry a farm worker. Well, I'd rather marry a farm worker. I would love to marry a farmer. That would be like, like in the olden days when women came with a dowry. If a woman came with like mega farm skills, oh my God, that would be like the best dowry ever. I'd be like, oh, I will pay you, you know. Oh, anyway. But yeah, marrying a farmer would be amazing. Yeah, I definitely want to get to the point where I'm growing all my food though. I do have a little bit of emergency supply food, which is just these biscuits. I put them on my Amazon wish list, and someone got them for me. I put a bunch of different emergency supply food stuffs on there. So if anyone's worried about me starving to death in the apocalypse, send me one of those. That would be amazing. Anyway, but I do generally keep a pretty good stock of food. I mean, not like months worth, but like I'd probably be fine for like a month just on the food I have here. And coconuts, I have a pretty good supply of coconuts, and then this leafy spinachy stuff that grows like weeds that I can eat. The kids like it, which is good. And then I have a few little fruits and stuff growing around. But yeah, I definitely want to get to the point where I'm growing a lot. Oh, my sweet potatoes are doing amazing, and so is this stuff called yam pea, which is another potato-y kind of thing, but it's way better than potatoes. It's like my favorite potato product. I planted some recently, and at least 2 of them are growing really, really well. Okay, a geoduck clam is a giant clam that grows in the Hood Canal. Geoducks are a great aquatic food source. Okay, so it's a clam, and you planted them in the water. This was not a plants planting thing. Add a rototiller to the dozer. I think I talked about this last week. If I make a rototiller, I'm probably going to power it from the bulldozer. So I don't want it attached to the bulldozer because it's going to limit where I can go. But if I'm holding it with my hands, I mean, I'm much more agile than the bulldozer. I can go a lot more places. So I could I could drive the bulldozer close to my working area, plug it into the bulldozer, and then just, by hand. I think that would be a good way to do it. Or maybe I could even make it so it could clip onto the bulldozer and drive around, but I definitely want to be able to take it off. Could the rototiller pull a log with the till off? I mean, it's a possibility. See, the problem with having a machine pull a log is I'm going to be going like way out into the jungle. I don't want to have to take a piece of machinery with me. I want to take like maybe a winch or like some peavies. Is that what they're called? Peavies? The things that you stick into a log and, like I want to have minimal equipment to move the logs because I'm going to have to take it there to, in rough terrain in the jungle. I don't know where I'm going to be. Like the last log I cut up was this tree that fell out in the jungle, and there was nowhere good to stand. And the tree was like kind of going across, and like below the tree, it was maybe like 10 feet of space. Oh, mosquito. I got him. There was like 10 feet of space before the ground at one point, because it was just like in this really uneven terrain. And, I stood on the log, cut off a slab of the log on the side, and then like kind of made a bridge out of that I could stand on beside the log to cut. And just the idea of having a machine that could drive that out of there is just, there's no way. Like a winch pulling it, like I could attach a winch to a tree and pull that out. That could happen. But even then, I'd want it to be some kind of hand-powered winch, not a machine one. Because again, I'd have to carry all this stuff into this place where the terrain is not, it's not like walking down the sidewalk. It is like walking through mountains, it's like all uneven. No, I'm making a simple bread. 4 ingredients. I love to figure out a sourdough starter like you have. Yeah, even the simple bread, with I'm presuming just the store-bought yeast and all that stuff. Um, the way I got into the sourdough was I was making, probably the bread that you're making, the store-bought yeast and stuff. And I found that if I let it rise overnight, it would get a little bit sourdoughy, and I liked it more. Like if I eat bread, like really plain bread, I just don't feel that good after. It's not to the point where I'm like I can't eat bread, but it's just like. But if I let my bread rise overnight, it would get a little bit sourdoughy, and it wouldn't give me that gross feeling. And so then I was like, well, I just make sourdough. And yeah, the sourdough bread, I can eat a whole loaf and I feel totally fine. It's good. Let's see. Tomatoes not been on for a while. Yeah, where is Tomatoes? Yeah, I think Tomatoes was here last week. But what's he doing? He must be busy. Oh no, he's dead. Oh God. What if I say that one day and he actually is? No, Tomatoes is just busy. Oh, jeez. I just got a radio call. Hold on. I'm gonna answer this. I'll be right back in like seconds. Oh, just answer the radio. Yeah, I made back. I'm doing it live right now. Okay. Sorry, that was just someone checking on me that I wasn't dead. Checking that I actually made it home, which I always do. But I appreciate the concern. A travois is basically a sled. A travois is a skid made of 2 long sticks with cross bracing. Oh, okay, I know what that is. No, I think I want to have wheels. I'm still thinking like ratcheting wheels would be really good. Okay, good night to those guys. Have a good sleep. Okay, let's see. I should probably shut up pretty soon because I've been going on for a while, but I just had to reload the comments again because I got stuck. I don't know why I'm doing that today. Okay, rambutan is great. Not quite as good as lychee, but bigger, and that makes up for it. I don't know, the rambutans and lychees are both delicious. So maybe I'll have to also grow some lychee nuts. Okay, the 127-year-old sourdough starter was great. It came from the Alaska Gold Rush, and its name is Dolores. Dolores, that's not a bad name. I wonder if one day in the future, centuries from now, someone will say, oh, I've got this 400-year-old sourdough starter. Its name is Bubbles. It came from an island in Central America. How have your new batteries... Oh, you spelled this. You did some typos. Okay, basically, how are my new batteries going? They're great. So I got these 2 24-volt, 100-amp-hour Redodo, that's the company name, Redodo batteries for the Tiger Shark slicer. And I've been driving around on it. I haven't gone real far yet. The most I've done is like 2 miles at a time. But like in the dark, I mean, not in the dark, but like when it was cloudy and I was basically getting nothing from the solar panels. So I was just pretty much solely running on the batteries. No problems. Everything has been great. The batteries haven't gotten hot or anything, like they're handling it. Yeah, everything's totally good. The real test of those batteries will be when I go on a trip to town, because that's a pretty long trip. So I'm gonna have to see how they do with that. I'm hoping they're amazing. They've been amazing so far. So yeah. Hi, Jaimie. Well, hello, Steve. Do you do much fishing at all, or crawfish, etc.? Got to get protein somewhere. LOL. LOL. I do some fishing. I like spear fishing. Spear fishing is my favorite. And I made a spear. I made a video about it a little while ago. The spear has been great. It works really well, actually. And it's the kind of spear that's like a long spear. I mean, it's really long, actually. It's like 8 feet. It's taller than me. I don't know how long it is. But then it has like a rubber band sort of, on the back, and you put your hand through the rubber band, and then like pull your hand up the spear so the rubber band is stretched all the way back, and then you just let it go, and it. But then you keep the rubber band attached to you so that you don't lose the spear, right? And I've done ones before. I've used spear things before where you actually shoot the spear and it goes away. The problem then is that your fish could run away with your spear. And even if it's attached by a string, it might get tangled up and stuff. I do really like the long pole spear with the rubber band thing, because you shoot it, but you keep control of the spear. So the last fish I speared it, but not in a way that killed it right away. So it was trying to swim like crazy, but I just grabbed my spear and held it out of the water and then swam back to the boat with the fish out of the water. So he wasn't like, trying to bend the spear or take off with it or anything, or getting away. Yeah, and I like that spear a lot. I should do more dragging a line. I need to get a bunch more hooks because they rust. They don't last that long. Mosquito. The crew I've been working with beach planted 40,000 baby clams today during low tide. Wow, that's crazy. Carson, never eaten one. I assume they are in short supply in that planting seeding area. Yeah, can I do those clams here? I don't know. Are they on a sandy beach? I do have a bit of sandy beach here. Question, do you have any oyster beds by you? And any luck seeing a sheep's head? No, I haven't seen a sheep's head. But there are lots of oysters around here. They're small. But I have a friend who cracked one open and ate it. It was like, tastes good, like an oyster. So they're there, and I could eat them, I guess. They grow on everything. Yeah, they're all over the place. Dirt bike wheels have brakes for a log arch? Dirt bike wheels. Well, do dirt bike wheels have like a ratcheting thing? Well, they do have a ratcheting thing with the, well, I don't know. I haven't had a dirt bike, but like a bicycle will have a ratcheting thing on the chain. So, I mean, that would totally work for ratcheting a wheel. Jaimie opened a pizza place and call it Bubbles. Yeah. Oh man, Bubbles makes the best pizza. Oh my God. Yeah, I can't even eat normal pizza anymore. Now that I've had like pizza with coconut sourdough crust, which tastes like donuts. Oh man, it's so good. We actually just had some the other day. Oh, so delicious. Oh, I forgot about that video with the spear. Don't see much content like that on here normally, I think. Oops. I saw your new bow video. Very cool. Maybe make it a bow fishing bow. Well, a fishing bow is kind of tough. You can't use a bow underwater because it's too much resistance, so it would slow down the arrow a lot. However, I do have the spear, which works really well. They're mostly exported for sushi. Oh, you're talking about the clams, I think. Makes sense, said Barb Carson. To plant and grow them, you need at least 4 feet of sand depth. Oh man, I do not have 4 feet of sand depth. I can't grow those clams here. Bummer. Well, I think I'm gonna get out of here. I think I'm gonna have a snack. Oh, and speaking of gardening, I started growing some things inside. So I'm starting watermelon in here, which I just planted, so there's nothing coming out yet. And then I started pepper plant in here. And I'm gonna see if I can get things started inside that'll grow big enough that the crabs and stuff won't kill them. Because I have noticed, like if a pepper plant makes it to like that big, the crabs won't eat it. But if it's like this big, the crabs just go eat it. So anyway, I'm starting to make some progress on my gardening. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go have a snack. I've been talking for like 2 hours, and I don't usually talk that much. 2 a.m. here in Scotland and work at 9 a.m. Oh, you better go to sleep, man. When I was in Scotland, I swam in the North Sea, and it was winter. It was cold. It felt good though. That's one thing I miss, cold. Like I kind of wish I had some freezing cold water I could jump into here. There is a river not too far away. That's cold-ish. It's still pretty good, but it's kind of far. I mean, I can make it there. Anyway, Okay, Reed Cook. Thanks, Jaimie. See you next video. Yes, I'll see you guys next week too. And I hope everyone has a good evening or morning. Or Mister, you need to go to sleep so you can get up for work at 9 a.m. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, and I hope you guys have a good everything. You can grow manila clams, Jaimie, that like small pebbles. I know pebbles. I do have sand. It's just not deep. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go look up. Oh crap! What was I supposed to look up? Pawpaws. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm getting out of here.